What's going on, Magooches? This is your fearless leader, Toots Magoots. Welcome to my channel, and in today's video, we'll be discussing the number 24 to 17 team overall ratings and their impact players for my Madden 95 recreation roster. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you don't miss any upcoming videos. At the number 24 spot, we have the Seattle Seahawks coming off a 6-10 season, missing the playoffs. The Seahawks were the middle of the pack for most part, but offensively they excelled in the run game, finishing second in total rushing yards in 1994, in large part to running back Chris Warren, who earned his second straight Pro Bowl. Warren's Pro Bowl 94 season saw him rush for 1,545 yards and 9 touchdowns on the ground, and 41 catches for 323 yards and 2 touchdowns. Warren is among the elite power backs in the NFL, and the Seahawks hope to boost their passing game with the help of Ohio State rookie speedster Joey Galloway, the fastest wide receiver in the 95 draft. On the defensive side of the ball, the Hawks boast arguably the best defensive tackle in football, Cortez Kennedy. Kennedy is coming off his 4th straight Pro Bowl and his 3rd straight All-Pro selection. His 70 tackles and 4 sacks in 94 were among the best at his position, and he will be a force in the trenches against anyone's passing game or running game. The Seahawks will be one of the most fun teams to use in the game for all of the talent that they have spread out across the field, and with Galloway's speed on offense. The number 23 spot goes to the Cincinnati Bengals, coming off a disappointing 3-13 season littered with injuries, and 8 of their losses coming by 7 points or less. The Bengals are a more than capable team and have several interesting pieces that can help them vie for a division title in 95. Among those key pieces is wide receiver Carl Pickens. Carl Pickens is coming off a breakout year where he caught 71 passes for 1,127 yards and 11 touchdowns. He's earned quarterback Jeff Blake's trust, and their chemistry should only grow moving forward. Speaking of Blake, he is coming off a season that saw him produce 2,154 yards through the air with 14 touchdowns and 204 yards and a touchdown on the ground, only appearing in 9 games due to injury. He's among the 5 best mobile quarterbacks in the game and will look to stay healthy and lead the Bengals to the playoffs this season. On the defensive side is blooming star defensive tackle Dan Wilkinson. Wilkinson is coming off a 44 tackle, 5.5 sack, 2 forced fumble campaign where he finished among the top defensive tackles in the league. Another solid season, and Wilkinson will be considered among the elite defensive tackles in the league. The number 22 spot goes to the Oilers, who have moved to Nashville, are in the process of changing their name to the Titans. They're coming off an abysmal 2-14 season that was plagued with injuries and misfortune, but still showed flashes of what they are capable of. Considered the best offensive lineman in the game, left guard Bruce Matthews is coming off his 7th straight Pro Bowl and is also a 4-time All-Pro selection. He'll lead the way for an improved O-line that looks to get the offense back in the elite portion of the league. Cornerback Chris Dishman, a 1-time Pro Bowl and All-Pro selection, leads a defense that finished 2nd against the pass and 9th in total yards last season. However, they ranked last against the run and near the bottom of the league in points allowed. Dishman hopes to replicate an impressive 94 season where he had 66 tackles and 4 interceptions. Last but certainly not least for the Titans is their electrifying draft pick, quarterback Steve McNair. Those are rumblings of coming from the camp that McNair is challenging for the starting job. His elite mobility could add a much-needed wrinkle to an offense that finished last in points scored in 94. The number 21 spot is the Indianapolis Colts, coming off an 8-8 season that had them just outside the playoff bubble. The Colts were an up-and-down team in 94, at times showing championship caliber play, and at other times demonstrating very mediocre play. There's no denying that Marshall Faulk has catapulted himself into the upper echelon of running backs in the league. Faulk is an every down back that can literally do it all. In 94, Faulk put up 1,282 yards and 11 touchdowns on the ground, while recording 52 catches for 522 yards and a touchdown receiving. He was the 1994 Rookie of the Year and earned a Pro Bowl nod in his rookie season. The Colts boast an impressive defensive unit that flashed greatness at times last season. Leading the way for the defense is cornerback Ray Buchanan, who's making the switch from safety. Buchanan put up Pro Bowl caliber numbers with 100 tackles, 8 interceptions, and 3 of which were returned for touchdowns. Buchanan's elite quickness and lurking skills will be a great weapon for the Colts this season. Also looking to build upon an impressive 94 season is defensive end Tony Bennett. Bennett posted 62 tackles, 9 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles, solidifying himself as one of the premier pass rushers in the game. The Colts have made a point to balance out their attack this year, hoping to improve their passing game, which ranked at the bottom of the league due to their previous run-heavy scheme. At number 20 is the New Orleans Saints, coming off a 7-9 season, just barely missing the playoffs. The Saints were very polarizing in 94, having the number 9 scoring offense and the number 27 scoring defense. One of the ways the Saints responded to that issue was signing free agent cornerback Eric Allen. Allen is a one-time All-Pro selection coming off his 5th straight Pro Bowl season, where he put up 57 tackles and 3 interceptions. Most offenses throw away from Allen as he is a human shadow on the receivers he faces. Allen brings a much-needed boost to the Saints secondary. And on the other side of the ball, left tackle Willie Roaf has quickly ascended into the upper tier of tackles in the league. Roaf is coming off his first Pro Bowl and All-Pro selection and should help anchor a line that finished 8th in passing last season. Back on the defensive side, we have defensive tackle Wayne Martin. Martin is coming off his first Pro Bowl selection after recording 73 tackles and 10 sacks last season. With he and Allen paired together, the Saints defense could trend toward a top 10 season this year. The number 19 spot goes to the Chicago Bears, who finished 9-7 and lost in the divisional round of the playoffs. There are 2 things the Bears have always done well: play elite defense and run the football, and this Bears team will look to do the same. The defense finished 10th in scoring and 5th against the pass, while the offense finished near the bottom of the league across the board. The Bears used their first-round pick and drafted Heisman running back Rashaan Salaam out of Colorado, hoping to spice up their offense and get back to the old-school Bears football. But the heart and soul of Bears football is their defense, led by free safety Mark Carrier, cornerback Donnell Wolford, and defensive end Richard Dent. Carrier is a 3-time Pro Bowler and had 69 tackles and 2 interceptions last season. Wolford is a 1-time Pro Bowl selection and is coming off a 57 tackle, 5 interception season. And Richard Dent, one of the league's all-time premier pass rushers, is a 4-time Pro Bowler and 1-time All-Pro selection. Dent is aging and no longer in his prime, but the Bears are hoping to squeeze one more elite season out of him before he hangs up the cleats. If Salaam can put up a Marshall Faulk-like rookie campaign, the Bears won't only make the playoffs, they could contend for the NFC Championship. The number 18 spot goes to the Atlanta Falcons, who finished 9-7 and just barely missed the playoffs. The Falcons are looking to rebound from a 94 season that saw their defense finish nearly last in most major categories, after some significant injuries to some of their top talent. Offensively, however, they finished 7th in total yards and 5th in passing yards. The balance was never quite there, though, as they finished dead last in the running game. The Falcons have elite talent on both sides of the ball, but their top dog is middle linebacker Jesse Tuggle, coming off his 2nd Pro Bowl selection. Tuggle finished 94 with 129 tackles, and it's worth noting that he has the number 2 and number 3 seasons for most tackles in a season, with 207 and 201 tackles in each of those seasons. Also boosting the Falcons' defense is future Hall of Fame defensive end Chris Dolman. In 94, Dolman missed 9 games due to injury and still managed 30 tackles and 7 sacks. The 6-time Pro Bowler and 2-time All-Pro selection will look to return to elite form this season. One of the most electrifying players in the league signed with the Atlanta Falcons this offseason, and that is running back wide receiver return specialist Eric Metcalf, formerly of the Cleveland Browns. Metcalf is coming off his 2nd straight Pro Bowl after posting incredible numbers across the board last season: 329 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground, 436 yards and 3 touchdowns receiving, 348 yards and 2 touchdowns via punt return, and 210 yards via limited kick return duties. Rumors from camp are also that Jamal Anderson is challenging for the running back job. which could potentially help boost the worst rushing attack from last season. Number 17 goes to the Denver Broncos, who finished 7-9 and missed the playoffs. The 94 season showed that the Broncos have the potential to be elite if they can find a way to finish games and shore up their defensive holes. 6 of their 9 losses were by 7 points or less, in large part due to key injuries throughout the season to key defensive players. Offensively, the Broncos were strong, finishing top 10 in points, passing yards, and total yards. Defensively, they finished bottom 5 in nearly all major categories. Tight end Shannon Sharpe put up one of the greatest seasons for a tight end in history with 87 catches for 1,010 yards and 4 touchdowns, earning him his 3rd Pro Bowl selection. Feeding him the rock was QB John Elway, who finished with 3,490 yards and 16 touchdowns through the air, and 235 yards and 4 touchdowns on the ground. Elway's prime window is closing, but he's still proven capable of being a dual threat. On the other side of the ball, veteran free safety Steve Atwater hopes to lead the Bronco defense to a better showing in '95. Atwater earned his 5th straight Pro Bowl and is also a 2-time All-Pro selection. What did you think of the rankings, and which one of these teams do you think has the best chance of making the playoffs? Be sure to let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and until next time.